Hello, welcome to Yotamobi channel. In this video, we introduce 5 of the best films made about World War I and II. Stay with us. All Quiet on the Western Front is a gritty, intense movie set during World War I, and it's all about the brutal reality of war. The story follows a young German soldier named Paul Bäumer, who, along with his friends, eagerly enlists in the army, thinking they're going to be heroes and fight for their country. But once they get to the front lines, everything changes. The movie shows how Paul and his buddies quickly realize that war is nothing like they imagined. It's not glorious at all. It's muddy, cold, and deadly. They're thrown into horrific battles, and it's all about survival. There are constant explosions, machine guns, and soldiers dropping around them. Paul is just a kid trying to stay alive, but he's forced to deal with unimaginable loss and violence. All Quiet on the Western Front is a stark, powerful look at how war can destroy everything from lives to hopes to dreams.
Miramax Home Entertainment is proud to present an extraordinary new movie. Nominated for 7
Life is Beautiful is an emotional, powerful film about a Jewish-Italian man named Guido, who's super charming, funny, and full of life. The movie starts off lighthearted, with Guido falling in love with a woman named Dora, who's a school teacher. They get married and have a son, Jaisu. Everything seems great, but then, during World War II, their world gets turned upside down when they're sent to a concentration camp. Now, here's where the movie takes a heartbreaking turn. Instead of letting his son see the horrors of the camp, Guido does everything he can to protect him. He convinces Jaisu that everything happening around them is part of a game. The game is about earning points, and the person who gets the most points at the end will win a tank. In the end, Life is Beautiful is all about love, sacrifice, and the lengths a father will go to protect his child, even in the darkest of times.
Life is beautiful.
Schindler's List is a powerful, heartbreaking movie based on the true story of Oskar Schindler, a German businessman during World War II who ends up saving the lives of over 1,000 Jewish people from the Holocaust. The movie starts with Schindler, played by Liam Neeson, who's looking to make a profit by using cheap labor from Jewish workers in his factory. At first, he's just in it for the money, hanging out with Nazi officials and doing whatever he can to get ahead. But as the movie goes on, Schindler starts to see the horrors of what the Nazis are doing to the Jews, especially after witnessing the brutal treatment in the concentration camps. Slowly, his attitude changes, and instead of just looking out for himself, he becomes determined to save as many lives as he can. He does this by bribing Nazi officers and using his factory as a cover to protect Jewish workers, making them seem essential to the war effort so they won't be sent to death camps. The film is deeply emotional and tough to watch at times, showing the brutality of the Holocaust, but it also highlights Schindler's transformation into a hero who risks everything to save others. It's a heavy, unforgettable movie that hits you hard emotionally, but it also tells a story of hope and humanity in the darkest of times. Saving Private Ryan is a gritty, intense World War II movie that kicks off with the famous D-Day landing at Normandy, where a bunch of soldiers storm the beach in one of the most brutal and realistic war scenes ever filmed. After that, the story focuses on Captain Miller, played by Tom Hanks, and his squad, who are given a mission to find and bring home Private James Francis Ryan. Why? Because Ryan's 3 brothers have already been killed in action, and the government wants to save him so his mother doesn't lose all her sons. So, Captain Miller and his men have to travel deep behind enemy lines in France, facing all kinds of danger to find this one guy who they've never met. Along the way, they struggle with the moral dilemma of whether it's worth risking their lives for one man when they've already lost so many. By the end, it's a pretty emotional roller coaster, especially when you realize what these soldiers went through just to do their duty.
Night, however dim our hopes.
Inbound 4 o'clock low.
The light will always
Unbroken is based on the true story of Louis Zamperini, an Olympic athlete turned World War II bombardier who ends up surviving some seriously crazy and horrific stuff. The movie starts with Louis as a rebellious, troublemaking kid, but he eventually finds his passion in running and makes it to the Olympics. After that, he joins the Air Force during the war. One day, his plane crashes into the Pacific Ocean, and he ends up stranded on a tiny raft in the middle of nowhere with 2 other guys. They're stuck for weeks, battling hunger, sharks, and brutal weather. But that's just the start of his hell. Eventually, they're picked up by the Japanese Navy, and Louis is sent to a brutal POW, prisoner of war, camp, where he faces torture, abuse, and everything in between. The movie is all about Louis's insane resilience and how he refuses to break under all the pressure and pain, even when it seems like everything is stacked against him. He keeps pushing through because he's determined to survive and get back home. It's a story of survival, strength, and the willpower to never give up, no matter how bad things get. Unbroken is intense, emotional, and shows just how far the human spirit can go when it's pushed to its limits. Finally, if you liked the video, be sure to like the video, and if you're a fan of movies and cinema, subscribe to our channel. Until later.
If I can take it, I can make it.
Stay down.
If he drops it, shoot him.
Come on.